financially included are in the agricultural sector. For a farmer, what are his pain points? He's afraid that he will have scorpion bite or a snake bite, or will have injuries in the farm, right? So if you go and tell him to open an account, he doesn't understand why you need to open an account, because you're not solving his pain point. But if you go and say that if you buy 4 bags of fertilizer, you get free HMO, and to do that you have to open an account, he probably will listen to you. So we need to change our strategy completely. That might be when I work in the agricultural sector. Now, I'm not working in some community. My mother is 88. She stopped using her account about 20 years ago. And when they want to send out money, she gives them her account number. And she says, somebody is sending her money to you. And then the money stays with me. Then maybe 3 months after she gets the money, she says, can you send the money to me? How am I supposed to send it to Ukele in Delta State? So I find somebody who gives it to her. But if you go to her today, at their age, my dad is 90, they one health issue or the other. If you go to sell them HMO, they might listen to you. But guess what? The policy cuts everybody off at 65. So there are a lot of issues. So why financial inclusion is not working? It's policies and government and what have you. So, but since government is here, I won't ask the government. So, I mean, let's go to Aruna. Okay, we are from the banking sector, and we'll be talking about identity management, we're talking about data protection. How do you think all of these would improve financial inclusion? Not in Lagos, in Potiscom.
Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be one of the panelists today. So, first of all, I would like to say what exactly is identity management. So, in this era of financial inclusion that we are currently, we need to use technology. And identity management is a crucial and important in this digital world. Why I say that is that because irregardless of individual, they have the fundamental human rights for them to have these financial services. But it is also crucial to secure their data. So, for example, somebody that doesn't have knowledge of how this financial inclusion is part of this financial inclusion, like I said, irrespective of their age, background, their illiteracy and educational background. So you as the individual as the company and the individual that is providing that financial services to them, you need to safeguard their data. And how does that work? First of all, we have the identity management. One of them is identity service engine. This is a technology that is part of our network that it is used to authenticate the confidential user, authorize him, and even make accounting of whatever he has done on those services. So just take, for example, in the banking sector, the person must have an account and you want to make a transaction. And then, most especially, he must be using a mobile banking app. So how does this identity management go? It started by authenticating this user by inserting his username and password. And in this technology that there is creativity and innovation, most especially there is Face ID. They have authenticated the user using the Face ID. Likewise, if you want to make transaction and then there too, you can either use this Face ID and either a PIN. So I think those are some of the technology that I would call on the financial technology and the institution to implement so as to provide a robust security measure to them.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. So let me just go to Mohamed Kachala. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me go to Oluwaji. Okay. So we're talking about people, aggregators. They were going to do BVN for farmers, from what I hear, and then they couldn't register it because the farmers they'd be using their fingers. The BVN could not capture their fingerprints. These are real issues. So we're talking about we're not having financial inclusion, we're not dealing with the real issues, those are real issues, and those are the people we need to include. So, I mean, you're coming from Coral Pink, how do we solve this problem?
Hi everyone. So, I just give context to the topic. Yes, I feel like when we speak on fintech, we forget it is a business, we forget it's capitalism and not socialism. So when we say things like how do we drive financial inclusion, it's a business. I would not sell to people who have higher cost of education and higher customer acquisition costs than sell to people who have lower customer education costs, lower customer acquisition costs, and I make more money from it. The average person in this advanced state, the Lagos, the Abujas, would have like take several financial transactions. They make deposits, they pay for cable TV, they pay for data. You get the people you're trying to get these services to do not spend more than 1,000 a month on these services. How would I make money from it? Now, so I feel like it goes off from like again, on the average, yeah. So it goes out of the hands of these businesses to say, I want to drive financial inclusion, so I'm going to businesses and teach you. I don't feel like for one, it's not. That's just background context. Sorry.
So I mean, at times it's good to have data. So this is what you're talking about. Take a typical farmer. If he plants maize, a ton of maize is about 300,000 naira. So if he gets 4 tons per hectare, that's 1.2 million. So when you say 1,000 naira a day, it means that we're not having enough data. So it means that the operators. No, I'm not saying that you're wrong. But that's the impression that's been created. It means that we don't have enough data on what is happening in these areas. There are infrastructural issues definitely, that could affect. I mean, I get your point. It's a business. So, but we are not also enough data on the volume of business that's happening in those communities.
Two things. And when it comes to job services, the bulk of the money does not come from when I help you receive money. The bulk of the money comes from when you spend it. So, and again, I get what you're saying, like the farmers are making these big bucks. But let's get to the data that the farmers have for like major financial. How much money, outside of sentiment, do the people have in these places?
The banks are not in those places.
I'm saying, even if you can't use the data from the banks, you can use metrics like quality of education, quality of life. But that's a different conversation. Now I'm saying, when did they collect this money? I'm getting at something, so that I'll see what space I was drawn for that. When did they get this money? How many of digital services do they pay for? Do you get it? So, because I pay for cable TV, I pay for Netflix and the rest of it. So I'm a smarter business choice for fintechs because they'll charge me for all these transactions. Do you get it? People that will probably get like 300k, 400k a month. They're not paying for digital services. You cash out and then pay in cash.
Okay, I mean, I get your point. Yes, go ahead.
Can I echo something I think, my colleague was trying to say? You're very much domain one. So, for financial inclusion to really work, there are two critical things, right? And sort of you mentioned it. One is access, right? Access is extremely key. Now, and the other also is digital literacy. Now, in terms of access, which is what I think you may be referring to, the people that build the infrastructure, right, is different from the people that are providing the platforms in order for them to be able to use that infrastructure or to be able to deliver those services, right? Now, for the people that build the infrastructure so that they can be accessed, right, there is an incentive, the same way there's an incentive for you, there's an incentive for them to be able to build the infrastructure to the point where these platforms can provide access to the consumers of that platform. Now, the other thing is digital literacy, right? If you're not educating these people on a literacy level, right, their ability to be able to use the platform or the products that are delivered on that platform is obviously a problem. Now, the second thing also is that they have to be able to even get the platform. And the guys that are building the infrastructure, people like me or people like the other guys in the room, right, that have to decide, should I go to an underserved or an unserved market in order for me to be able to build infrastructure? There has to be incentives there. So yes, we do understand. I think there is a connection between that guy as a farmer and he's doing 300,000, right? But I have to be incentivized not to go to that unserved market to build that infrastructure that allows these platforms of them to access it. And that certain individual, that farmer, needs to be digitally literate enough for him to be able to access those products. I think that's what.
So I quite agree with you, and I think we're getting there. That the big challenge is the fact that there are infrastructural issues. There's no power, there's no network. Why should I go and set up business there? Why should I go and invest money there when I can make money in Lagos? So those are fundamental issues which government needs to deal with. How do we ensure that there's infrastructure in these locations? No, we're running out of time, so let me start.
I know it's a pleasure and grateful to Mr. Jai for the opportunity. You see, Nigeria is a very exciting country if only you get involved. Many of the times, we don't believe this place. We are not really plugged into ourselves to optimize what we have. And keep on projecting something out of the blue that doesn't really exist. So what I'm saying in terms of infrastructure, based on what I've seen, I've been to the tier 1, tier 2 Lagos State data system, rack systems, and even all the infrastructure we could have seen it. We have underused what we have. We have underused what we have. In fact, in human capacity or even infrastructure, we have underused it. How much of the infrastructure assets that Lagos has made are we used? So I will quickly point some points that I think will quickly help us in bridging the gap. Yes, one, our firewall needs to be enhanced. Data pool, we need to protect our data of people based using hyperledger by blockchain. Then another thing, KY how know your requires consolidation API is plugin. API plugin authentication system protocol needs to be reviewed so that there will be this issue of the fear of people that probably can be breached in can be controlled. Then someone should be held responsible for software architectural failures. Nobody gets hold for some of these things that we won't be used. Then